morning, top of the 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 morning. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into episode number 29 of the Top of the Morning Show. I am your host, Juan Gotti, and we have a lot to discuss this morning. Before we get into it, I want to say I appreciate you all for rocking with me today. It has been a rainy week in the DMV area. It is 9:02 this morning. Now let's get straight to the morning menu. So there's been some things going on, non-football related. So let's go cover what we have to talk about first. We have missing submarine. Okay, we all know what's been going on in regards to the submarine that's been missing, and that had happened when people went to go visit the Titanic. I'm going to give my honest take on that. Then we have the top 10 NFL quarterbacks in 2023. Then we have to throw in some Commanders news. You know, I always got to throw in my Commanders segment. Every time we do this, I'll have a Commanders segment. And then we'll close the show out with my shout out segment. That's where when you guys comment, if there's any comments in the comment section, that is your time to get them read live on air. Now with that out the way, let's get to opening statements. So opening statements, okay, I want to talk about the missing submarine, but before that, let me go ahead and give myself a good audio check to make sure everything is running smooth, and we'll pick it up when we talk about audio check. Okay, we're good. All right. So I want to talk about the missing submarine. If you guys don't know, that has probably been the biggest topic in the world. Apparently, 4 people went down the ocean. I don't know exactly where the Titanic is, but they went down inside the ocean and they wanted to go visit the Titanic. And on their way down, they, I guess, went too deep and they had a catastrophic explosion. And they went missing, and it was a lot of things that was going on. It just wasn't a safe procedure. Now, before I give my honest opinion on it, I do want to say rest in peace to these people, because honestly, they were just they probably didn't think much of it. They probably just thought, "Oh, it's cool. Let's go visit the Titanic." I feel especially bad for the 19-year-old that was involved. That's the same age as me, bro. He didn't get to live life, and I know he probably just thought it was something cool, like, yeah, man, I'm about to go visit the Titanic. Like, you know, they didn't think nothing of it. It was a billionaire on deck. It was his submarine. So they probably thought this was not going to happen. Right? So, yes, may God rest their souls. And I pay my condolences to all the families that were involved in this unfortunate incident. Now, I'm going to give you I'm going to give the real, okay? Like, I'm not saying this to be liked. I'm not saying this to, just be on people's good side. I'm being real. So whether you like me or not for this, it's my honest opinion. That was not a bright idea, okay? Why would you want to go visit the Titanic? It's not like it was something there. Like, it's not like it was something like that was just so remarkable, like, oh my God. It was probably pieces of the boat that happened 100 years ago that wasn't that great. Like, it's not something that would have been just crazy. You could have probably saw images online if you wanted to, but who came up with the bright idea? Yeah, let me go take a submarine down to the bottom of the ocean and go see pieces of the Titanic. It's not even like you seeing the full boat. That's why I say sometimes people just Rich people just get bored, I guess. Like, I felt like this is one of the bored moves. Because who really wants to say, let me go visit the Titanic? It's not like it's a museum. It's not like it's something that has been done before, not to my knowledge. That's why I think people just, with money, just be bored, bruh. You know how many people you could have helped with that $250,000 or however much money, you had to put up for that? And that's not my main point, is that you could have helped people with it. But I'm just saying, like, you could have did so much more better, safer with that money instead of building a submarine. And then it's not even necessary that you build a submarine. You're a billionaire. Why didn't you make sure everything was straight? Why didn't you test it? There is no way I would get inside. First of all, I hate deep water in the first place, right? But there's no way you can convince me. I don't care how much money. There's no way you can convince me to get on a submarine to take me to the bottom of the ocean and I'm being controlled by a video game controller. They said they was being controlled by a $30 controller, bro. Yeah. I don't think people think. Like, I don't see how that was a good idea. And no, I'm not the biggest adventure person, right? So that's probably another reason why I don't find this thrilling. But I almost guarantee if you ask any adventures person, somebody that loves to travel, somebody that loves the outdoors, somebody that loves to just try new things, I guarantee you they would even say, yeah, that they were tripping. So, again, rest in peace to all of them. But at the same time, why even put yourself in that predicament? You know what I mean? And I don't think they thought about this. I don't think they was like, yeah, we're going to die or whatever, and we're not going to be able to come back up. But at the same time, you had to kind of know what you were getting yourself into. If you genuinely went into this blind, like with no notion of what could happen, and you just did it, you tripping. You tripping, bro. There's no way you're gonna go into something like this without any information. And if you got the information, again, I'm not trying to be rude, but if you got the information and they said it's a possibility that you could die, and you did it, that's crazy. But my honest opinion on it, though, like, as far as do people, I don't think they knew that this was a possibility. I felt like they thought it was a cool something that was safe. But I think what had happened was, once they got in the submarine and went down, all the way down, the water pressure probably was too much, so they couldn't get pulled back up. And they said it was a catastrophic explosion, so it was small fragments of the submarine that was, I guess, found or whatever, was getting found, so they blew up in the water, essentially. And that has to be one of the most frightening things to be a part of, man. And I feel bad for the kid, honestly. Like, the 19-year-old, bro, didn't even get to live life. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for all of them, but the older guys, they got to live life, right? Nobody deserves to go out like that, but they got to live life. They were probably the leading force in this. I'm not saying a 19-year-old ain't have a say, but I'm pretty sure he was heavily influenced by the rest of the people on board. I think his dad was there, So I just don't get what people think, bro. You gotta think honestly, like, there's no way you thought that was a good idea. Honestly. And I hate to come off and sound like this, but that's just the truth of the matter. And that's how I genuinely feel about it. Like, yeah, I feel bad. But how far can I feel bad for 3 out of the 4 people? Because you thought this was a good idea. Why? And it's, again, it's not like it was something there. If they did see the Titanic, let's just say they did see the Titanic. What of the Titanic? When did the Titanic happen? 111 years ago. What other Titanic would still be there that would have just been so remarkable? And you say, yeah, man, I lived and I seen the pieces of the Titanic. No wonder why nobody ever did this before. Because it's probably one, obviously it's not safe, right? But two, it's nothing thrilling. It's nothing mind blowing. Again, man, I just wish people would think more than what they do, and that's why I just say sometimes I feel like rich people just be bored, bro, and trying new things, because there's no way no regular person is doing this. There's no way no regular person is getting on no submarine, bro, and going down to the bottom of the ocean to see something that's not even that thrilling anymore. And again, I want to give my condolences to all the families that were involved, but man, it just wasn't a bright idea to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they didn't get it tested, but like, why not make sure everything was right? Be prepared for anything. You couldn't have like a tracker in the system that you know couldn't have gotten affected, or you couldn't have like a long like rope that was attached from above, you know, on ground, that if something went wrong you can get pulled out of the ocean. Like, it's so much that went wrong during that process that, again, I don't think they expected or that they necessarily prepared for. But it's just like, man, I feel bad, but how much can I feel bad for them, man? Because they made that decision. They made that unfortunate decision to go down to the bottom of the ocean. Again, I don't like deep water at all, so I would never even do this. I would never do this. I don't care how much money I got. I would never. But that's just my take on it, man. What says you out there if you're listening? Again, it's a sad situation, you know, and nobody deserves to go out like that. But sometimes people make decisions, and you have to live with the unfortunate and sad consequences of everything. So with that being said, may God, you know, take their soul and rest it in peace, and they're in heaven, and they can, you know, be peaceful, at peace now. But it's just a very sticky and sad situation. But that's my take on it. I'm gonna get off of it, you know, because that's what the whole world's been talking about now. I was really hoping that they could have found that thing, man, because again, I don't want nobody to die, you know, and especially like that. It's a very sad situation. But let's now go ahead and transition to the next segment here, as I want to point out something to you guys, just to let you know. If you guys happen to subscribe or donate to the Top of the Morning show, or live on air, just some cool things that will happen. You'll be able to get acknowledged when it happens. So something like this, just a quick intermission, something like this will happen. So you'll be able to say, let's say you donated, you know, this will pop up. Something like that will pop up, right? And then your message, and then I'll be able to read it, and you'll get a shout out. Or let's say you subscribe while I'm live. This pops up. Something like that will pop up, and you guys will get acknowledged. So that would be cool, and they'll have the whole sound play. The whole sound play will go off, and it will be like this again.
Let's top top of the morning, top of the morning,
like that.
top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. Hold on.
And then if somebody subscribes, this will play.
Turn the beat up, try to do my thing. Shout out Lil Juan, you know that's gang. You know that's gang. JGTS, you know that's the way.
JGTS, Juangottibusiness Sports. So again, just some little perks that happens. You know, we'll get better each and every day, and then we'll advance once I learn everything. But that's just a quick thing for the people that's watching live. Now, let's transition to the next topic. Okay, Juan Gotti's top 10 quarterbacks headed into the 2023 season. Now, I know, it's only June 23rd. You don't have to tell me. I have a calendar right here in my face. It's only June 23rd, so it's a certain amount you could say about top 10 quarterbacks right now because nobody's playing ball. But a lot of it's going to be based off of projection and their 2022 season performances. So here we go with my top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Coming in at number 10, I have quarterback Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. I think Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback. I do. He still hasn't gotten over that playoff hump. But when you think of the upper echelons of quarterbacks, top 10 at least, Kirk Cousins is either at that final 10 spot, right there on the outskirts of that 10 spot, no higher than 8, if anything. But I think Kirk Cousins just makes the list. I think he does. I think he's ahead of guys like Derek Carr, who's going to the Saints, so you don't know how he's going to be in the new offense. He's ahead of guys like Geno Smith, who's, you got to do it again, Geno. You got to do it again. If he can do it again, then he can get in that discussion. But you only had one good year. He's ahead of guys like Tua, right? Kirk Cousins is still a good quarterback. Now, is this his final year in Minnesota? Who knows? Will he ever get over that playoff hump? Who knows? But as of right now, headed into the 2023 season, Kirk Cousins is the number 10 best quarterback on my list. Coming in at number 9, I have Dak Prescott. Now, I know a lot of people say Dak Prescott regressed, which you can clearly see there has been some regression in his performances, but he's still a really good franchise quarterback. He's still a guy that is going to be a regular season beast. Now, again, similar to Kirk Cousins, I don't know if he'll ever get over the playoff drought. Because let's be real, the Cowboys last year were ready to win. They were ready to win last year. But the Dak Prescott, he did not show up in that San Francisco 49ers divisional round game. Now, I don't know if Dallas beats Philly in the NFC Championship. I don't know how that goes. I think Philly still represents the NFC in the NFC Championship and in the Super Bowl, I should say. But Dallas, they were ready to compete. They were ready to make a playoff run. That defense, Dan Quinn was outstanding, right? Dak Prescott just didn't show up. But with that being said, one thing you can say about Dak Prescott, unless it's a catastrophic injury, which I don't wish to happen, I don't wish nobody to get hurt, but unless it's a catastrophic injury, Dak Prescott is always having his Cowboys competing for the NFC East. Always has his Cowboys in playoff contention. Wild card, NFC East title run. He's always there. I'm curious to see. When did he take over? In 16? And that was their best season yet, that rookie year? 13-3. I'm curious to see, has Dak Prescott, when playing a full season or not having a season-ending injury, have they missed the playoffs? I'm trying to see here. I think I can pull it up here. Cowboys. I'm trying to remember. 2016 they made it to the playoffs. I think 2017 they missed it, or was that the year? I'm trying to think. Cause I know in 18, I think they played Seattle. I just know every time Dak Prescott plays, they play a relatively healthy season, they make the playoffs. So in 2022, they made the playoffs last year. 2021, they made the playoffs. Or that was the same season. No, it wasn't because I remember. And then 2018 they made the playoffs. So they didn't make the playoffs in 19? Really? Huh. I thought they may have made the playoffs in 19. I know we were 3-13 that year, so I know we were horrible. But Dallas didn't make the playoffs in 19? I don't remember that. I don't really remember that whole NFC East standings. I think maybe Philly. I know Philly made it to the playoffs. I thought the Cowboys would have made it to the playoffs, but I guess they haven't made it to the playoffs since 2018. But it was 2019, a year that Dak Prescott went down. They were 8-8 in 2019. So I guess they did miss the playoffs. But I think Dak Prescott got hurt that year. Or was it 2020? It was 2020 where he broke his ankle. 2019, Dak Prescott. I'm trying to see, did he play all 16 games? Because if he played all 16 games, that kind of refutes my point of trying to say that every time he plays vast majority of the season, they're always contending. Which that's not necessarily like ruins my point. But so in 2019, yeah, he played all the games. So I'm trying to think, why were the Cowboys so bad in 19 then? Or mediocre? How'd they miss out on the playoffs? I don't remember that season. But Dak Prescott in 2019, he was one of his best seasons. One of his best years was in 2019. And he had 4,902 passing yards for 30 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That was one of his best seasons. I think statistically that may have been his best season. Yeah, statistically it was his best season. So why were the Cowboys so bad that year? I don't remember why the Cowboys were bad in 19. But with that being said, Dak Prescott, for the vast majority, every time he plays a full season, they're always competing. They're always competing for the NFC East or wild card standing, right? So I think he's still number 9 on this list. Then you go to number 8. Number 8, I got Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence had, you can say he had one good year, but last year I think was the start of something special in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, Travis Etienne, you getting Calvin Ridley now back. I think the Jaguars are in for a special treat this year and for the future, man. I like Trevor Lawrence, and I think he's going to be really, really good. And I think last year was just the start of something special there. They're definitely going to be a force to reckon with in the AFC. I don't know if they're quite ready to compete for a Super Bowl, even though they had a really good playoff run last season. I don't know if they're ready to compete for a Super Bowl, but I know that they're making steps towards that. They're definitely going to win the AFC South. I don't see nobody really stopping them from winning the AFC South. And I think they can most likely make it out the first round, right? Then at number 8, or number 7, I should say, I have Aaron Rodgers. I know some people out there may be like, what? That's way too low for Aaron Rodgers. You tripping. Here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is coming off of one of the worst seasons of his career. And was it his fault? No, not all of it. You know, it was a lot that went wrong last year for Aaron Rodgers. It's crazy that we're talking about one of his worst seasons, and he still went 26-12. That should just tell you how much accustomed we are to Aaron Rodgers just being great. Aaron Rodgers, prior to that year in 21, 37/4. 2020, 48/5. 2019, 26/4. And so on and so forth. So 26/12, you give that to my quarterback this year, we're winning the playoff. We're winning the division. Or we're making the playoffs, honestly, right? So, but Aaron Rodgers, he's on a whole different pedestal. He isn't a regular quarterback. So, he's number 8 right now headed into the season, but that doesn't mean he's going to finish number 8. He definitely has the opportunity to climb back into the top 5 discussion if he's still the same Aaron Rodgers. He is 42 years old, man, or 39 years old, sorry. So, he's almost 40. So we don't know when Father Time is going to catch up, but it's going to catch up. Father Time is undefeated. There's no getting around Father Time. However, with that being said, Aaron Rodgers is still a top 10 quarterback. He's number 8 right now on my list heading into this season. And he has the opportunity to get back to that top 5. But the people ahead of him is just young, in their primes, and going crazy. Number 7. You got Justin Herbert. Or number 6, sorry. You got Justin Herbert. This is what happens when you don't label your numbers. Number 6, Justin Herbert. I love Justin Herbert, man. And if I could redo that 2020 draft over again, I think my Washington Commanders, without a doubt, selects Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has been so good for the LA Chargers. The thing is with Justin Herbert, he hasn't been able to get over that playoff drought, right? They haven't been able to get past that playoff demon, man. And he's only played in 2021, 2022, and in 2020 he got the start. I think I want to say. Because didn't Tyrod Taylor lung get punctured? He wasn't even supposed to see the field in 2020. But he was so good as soon as he got out there. 2020, he threw for 4,336 yards, 31 touchdowns, over 10 as a rookie. Then in 2021, he threw for 5,014 passing yards for 38 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. That is MVP caliber stats, if you ask me. Then in 2022, Justin Herbert threw for 4,739 yards for 25 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He's a beast, man. He's a regular season beast. He's definitely going to have the Chargers competing each and every year in that AFC West. It's going to be hard because I don't think Denver's going to be as bad as they were last year. I don't know about the Raiders. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo always finds a way to be fighting for playoff positioning. And then obviously Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in football. Spoiler alert, but best quarterback in football, still going to be having his Chiefs competing each and every year. So the Chargers, the next step for them is getting over that playoff hurdle, man. If they could just get one under their belt. That goes a long way. Now, I know coaching staff has a lot to do with it. A lot of people are sour on Brandon Staley. But if they could just find a way to get one. Just get one. I think that does a lot of confidence. It gives this team a lot of confidence moving forward. Now, Justin Herbert is going to be having new toys to play with, right? Quinton Johnson, their first round draft pick. You know, hopefully Justin Herbert can stay healthy. I don't see no reason why the Chargers can't compete for a playoff berth if everything goes right. If everything goes right, Justin Herbert and the Chargers should be getting at least at worst getting one of those wild card spots at worst, right? So, coming in at number 5, this is where we get down to the top 5. Top 5. This is going to be interesting. I have Lamar Jackson. I have Lamar Jackson coming in at number 5, or my top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL headed into 2023. Lamar Jackson has been really, really good since stepping on the field for the Baltimore Ravens. But the thing is, with Lamar Jackson, as of late, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Right? That's the biggest thing. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. Secondly, hasn't had enough talent around him to push him to that next level. I honestly think by this time, Lamar Jackson should have at least been in the Super Bowl. At least. Now, I don't want to say win it. I don't want to say should have had a ring by now, but at least should have been in the Super Bowl. At least should have won an AFC Championship game by now. He's done everything else. This is the year that I think Lamar Jackson puts it together and the Baltimore Ravens are going to be a AFC favorite to make it out that conference. Lamar Jackson, again, health has been his biggest issue the last couple of years. And then it happens at the worst possible times. It's not like Lamar Jackson gets hurt in the beginning of the season, something minor, then he could just come back, miss a couple games, come back. It always seems to happen at the worst possible time. And then this year with the whole contract drama and debacle, people want to make it seem like, oh, he's holding out. I don't think Lamar Jackson was holding out, bro. I don't think so. I think it was something really wrong with Lamar Jackson. And his contract being in the back of his mind, do I think he was thinking about it? Yes, I do. I mean, he wants to get paid, right? But it was something wrong with him. Right? And I'm not mad at Lamar Jackson. As much as Ravens fans want to be mad and say, hey, Lamar should have went out there and played with his brothers, man, and tried to compete in the playoff game. I think if he was right, he would have done it. But at the same time, let's say Lamar Jackson was 50, 60% before that playoff game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. If he would have went out there and played 50%, just because everybody's saying he should have, he could have potentially got hurt worse, which would have prevented the Ravens from signing him. Let's keep it a buck. I really think John Harbaugh and some people in Baltimore was fine with letting Lamar Jackson go. Did they want him back? I think they did want him back. Clearly, they re-signed him. But I think it wasn't as much as a pressing need or a pressing want for them. And it's definitely a need. I don't see no reason why this was even a discussion and this got dragged on longer than what it did. But they seemed like they were willing to let him go. You know, trade talks, right? Signing him to the franchise tag to then let him go discuss trades with other people. I felt like people were willing, and some people in that Baltimore room was willing to let him go. So if he would have played, right, and got hurt more, I don't think Lamar Jackson's a Baltimore Raven right now. Because if they were that willing to let him go freely because and he was going to be right this season. Could you imagine if he would have got hurt in that playoff game, or would have got worse, or would have performed poorly in that playoff game? That's another thing a lot of people got to realize. If he would have performed poorly in that playoff game, they would have used that against him in the negotiations for how much he would have won it. So at the end of the day, this thing is called chess, not checkers. Lamar was playing chess, and all power to him. He got his bag. So rightly deserved. And I think this is going to be the year that the Ravens genuinely make a push. Because as much as I say there's no reason Lamar Jackson shouldn't at least been in the AFC Championship game, it hasn't been enough around him. He had to pretty much do everything by himself. If it wasn't him, it was Mark Andrews. Now, you got a whole bunch of weapons, right? You got a new offensive coordinator. No more Greg Roman. You got Odell. You got Zay Flowers. Right? You getting Rashad Bateman back, who I think is going to be really good. If he could just stay healthy, man, he could be really good. And then obviously you still got Mark Andrews. And then you still got a run game. And you still Lamar's legs himself is a separate player. Honestly. So Lamar's number 5 on my list right now, but I definitely can see Lamar Jackson winning MVP again. Because he was off to an MVP start last year. Then things tailed off. So he's number 5 right now. But I can see him definitely winning MVP. Again, 2-time. Number 4, I got Jalen Hurts. Okay, Jalen Hurts had a remarkable season last year. Here's the thing, though. He had such a good season that he can't be in the top 5. But he had one season to where I don't know why he's in the top 2 discussion. They have Jalen Hurts as the second best quarterback in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes. How is that possible? He only did that for 1 year. He only had this caliber season for 1 year. How is it possible that he's behind Patrick Mahomes? So I gotta be the real analyst here. Unlike these CBS and ESPN, I gotta be the real person that's going to give you the realistic standings and realistic rankings. Jalen Hurts is the 4th best quarterback in football right now. Solely based on he only did it for 1 year, and the people in front of him has done it for multiple years. The only person that you can somewhat question is going to be the next person I announce. But even that person has had beast regular seasons for multiple years. Jalen Hurts, again, no doubt about it, had one of the best seasons in NFL history. And would have probably won an MVP if it wasn't for a guy by the name of Patrick Mahomes. But you cannot say he's the second best quarterback in the league when he's only had a season like that last year one time. Yeah, he had a really good season last year one time, and he only had 22 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So it's not like Jalen Hurts was 35 over 6, 38 over 10. Bro was 22 over 6. He had one of the best seasons in NFL history because of what he brought to the Eagles offense. Historically, that offense was really good, and he was electrifying through the air and on the ground. More specifically on the ground with his legs, because that's the kind of quarterback that a lot of people want to portray him as. But he has a rocking arm too, for sure. But you know, everybody loves that dual threat kind of quarterback, and that's what makes people more excited, more so than him being a legit pocket passer. Not saying he's not, he definitely is. But I'm saying what makes people watch Jalen Hurts more is for his legs and not his arm. He's a good quarterback. He's top 5. But number 2 behind Patrick Mahomes, nah, can't give him that yet. Now, if he goes out and has a better season than he did last year, or have this kind of season again, but this time the Eagles actually cash it in, okay, then you can make that discussion. Because Jalen Hurts, one thing about Jalen Hurts, he showed up in the Super Bowl. He showed up in the Super Bowl. If it wasn't for his defense, I think they are the Super Bowl champions. So, I think he's top 5 right now. I have him at number 4. But 2 behind Patrick Mahomes? Nah, bro. Can't give him that. Number 3. This is the only other guy that you can kind of be like, hey, he's in front of him. Maybe. But in my books, he's not. Number 3, I got Josh Allen. Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in football. My favorite quarterback in the NFL is Josh Allen. My favorite non-player besides Washington, Josh Allen's in the discussion. If it's not Josh Allen as my favorite non-Washington player, it's Stephon Diggs. So I mean, they both on the same team, so you can pick your boys. But Josh Allen, dog, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. A lot of people, I had him over Joe Burrow prior to the season starting last year. But now I have to be a realist. I cannot deny Joe Burrow being better than Josh Allen right at this moment. Right? But I had him behind Patrick Mahomes last year. Josh Allen, 4,544 yards in 2020, 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. That was the start of the Josh Allen that we know today. 2019, yeah, it was cool. 3,089 yards, 20 touchdowns over 9 interceptions. That was cool. That was a semi-star. But 2020 is really where it took off. Because after that, 21, 36 over 15, and 2022, 35 over 14. Justin Herbert is good. You know, and I was talking about him and Josh Allen in the same boat. As far as the kind of players that they are, arm strength, tall, big guys, athletic guys, they kind of mirror each other, right? But I still give the edge to Josh Allen. Josh Allen is really good. Now the next step for him is winning the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl, because you already know they're going to have a really good regular season. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He's going to be in the MVP conversation every year. I really hope he wins the MVP this year. I really do. But the next thing for him is winning the Super Bowl. You already been to the AFC Championship. Now, can you get to the Super Bowl and win it? I think this has to be the year for them. I think it has to be the year for them. I don't want to say they'll start declining next year, because I don't think that's true. Because as long as they got Josh Allen, they'll be good. But I think this has to be the year that they win it. They've had this window since 2020. Since 2020, they've had this window. I would say, yeah, since 2020. So they have to cash in. It's going to be the 4th year that their Super Bowl window has been open. At some point, it's going to shut. And when that thing close, you don't know when it's going to open again. So this has to be the year for Josh Allen. Coming in at number 2, I have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, man. How good is he, man? How good is Joe Burrow, man? He's so good, bro. He's so good, man. Every time I watch Joe Burrow, I just be like, wow. Like I just like, how is he this good? But then I realized again, he went to LSU, he went to Ohio State. He was an older rookie, so he was prepared for this. He was a national championship winner. He was prepared for this. So as surprised that I be at how good he is, it's but so much a surprise I can be, because this guy was like that coming out of college. He was prepared. He wasn't a guy that had one good college year, and then he decided to come out. He went through his bumps and roads. Remember at Ohio State, he was behind Dwayne Haskins, J.C. Bird, all those guys. Then he went to LSU. Alright? That's when he took off. So he's been through a lot being groomed as a quarterback. So Justin Herbert, I keep wanting to call these guys Justin Herbert. I don't know why. Joe Burrow has been phenomenal. Phenomenal. The guy has a crazy arm, accuracy through the roof, has obviously the athletic ability, and what's even more astonishing is how he's been able to bounce back from that torn ACL. I think people are forgetting that he tore his ACL in his rookie year versus my Washington football team. I saw it live. He tore his ACL. And how good he's been since coming back from that is crazy that I think people forgot he actually tore it. Joe Burrow has been amazing ever since stepping on the field. He's just an overall W human being, man. He's going to have the Cincinnati Bengals competing every single year. And the fact he tore his ACL in week 11 of that 2020 season. And he was right back to work in 21. 34, 14, 4,611 yards in 21. And in 22, 35 over 12 for 4,475 yards. Already been to a Super Bowl. Already been to AFC Championships. Next thing for Joe Burrow is winning the Super Bowl and getting the MVP. Joseph Lee Burrow is the second best quarterback in football. And I love Josh Allen, man, but I had to put Joe Burrow here, man. And Joe Burrow is going to be getting that sack soon. And every penny's deserved. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. That offense is amazing. Then at number one. Number uno should not be a surprise to anybody. It is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the number one quarterback in the NFL. How can you sit up here and talk football and not have Patrick Mahomes as the number one quarterback in the league? Patrick Mahomes, 2 Super Bowl rings, always in the AFC Championship, right? Coming off of another MVP season, and he's only 27 years old, bruh. He's like that. He's like that. He's going to be first round Hall of Famer, no question, right? The guy is just it gets unreal every time he plays. Every year you don't think he's gonna out better himself, but he does it every year. Bro, 2018, we remember that year. 5,907 passing yards for 50 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. 4,031 yards, 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in 2019. 2020, 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 21, 4,839 yards, 37 touchdowns for 13 interceptions. And in 2022, 5,205 passing yards for 41 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. This guy is only going to get better. He's only 27 and he's accomplished so much. I wonder how many more Super Bowl rings he's going to win. He's already at 2. Already at 2. This guy is going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And we're witnessing this right before our eyes. He's going to be an amazing quarterback for the Chiefs for the next decade. Love Patrick Mahomes, man. I know a lot of people are gonna have a disagreeing with that topic and with that take, but I think my list is really realistic. I think my top 10 quarterbacks headed into the 2023 season is actually realistic, and we'll quickly run through it. So at 10, I got Kirk Cousins. 9, I got Dak Prescott. 8, I got Trevor Lawrence. At 7, I got Aaron Rodgers. 6, I got Justin Herbert. 5, I got Lamar Jackson. 4, I got Jalen Hurts. 3, I got Josh Allen. And 2, I have Joe Burrow. And 1, I have Patrick Mahomes. I think that is the most realistic it'll get, unbiased it will get when it comes to top 10 quarterbacks headed into the 2023 season. Now, let's transition to the final segment. If you guys are listening live out there, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. This is the episode number 29 of the Top of the Morning podcast. We are now making a serious transition. I'm done playing around with this podcast, man. I started it in October, and I had a vision for it, and some things get in the way of it, whether it's me not knowing how to fulfill that vision with the editing and stuff like that or whatever. Things will always get in the way, or I would get down on myself because I'm like, nobody's really watching. I would feel forced to have to put Washington Commanders in the title just to get people to listen, but I'm done doing that. This podcast is supposed to be a football podcast where we talk about everything, and honestly, I don't care about the views anymore. I don't care about the views. I'm just gonna make this podcast, be consistent, back on my consistent podcast, uploading, and whoever likes it, whoever listens. If not, it so be it. I love this podcast, and I have a big vision for it, and I just keep shooting myself in my own foot, and I keep getting in my own way by stopping it, just because nobody's listening. But I honestly, again, like I said, I'm just going to put it out there, and if people love it, they do. If not, oh well. This is where we're going to talk ball, man, because as much as I love my Commanders, I'm just as bright and talented when it comes to the whole league. So I appreciate y'all for listening to it. But now, if this is going to be the final 2 segments, do you guys prepare for the shout out segment, because after the Commanders news, we're going to be talking about you guys' comments. So anything you got, any questions about, anything you want to hear your name about, please, I urge you to hit that comment section and let's chat it up. All right, but let's get to the next segment, Commanders news. All right, there's not a lot of Commanders news. There's not a lot of NFL news, right? It's just June. Everybody's on summer break for in NFL. But we'll talk about the Commanders' new owner, potentially new owner. Again, it's not 100% official, but we know it's really official. Joe Gibbs and owner Josh Harris have kind of connected. Right? They connected. They came together, and owner Josh Harris makes a substantial investment in Joe Gibbs Racing. So Joe Gibbs and Josh Harris have a connection. They have a partnership built, and I'm pretty sure Joe Gibbs is going to return the favor potentially with the Washington Commanders. As we know, greatest head coach in our franchise history, and we know he loves him some racing, man. So that's big for Joe Gibbs. And let's just quickly read the article. Joe Gibbs has founded an investor, and they both have a connection to the NFL Washington Commanders. Gibbs has been associated with the Commanders for decades, having won 3 Super Bowls as the team's head coach. Josh Harris will have a much deeper connection soon once his bid is purchased. His bid to purchase the NFL team is approved. Hearst Blister Sports Entertainment has made what JGR is calling a significant investment, along with Arctos Partners into the racing organization, which has won 5 Cup titles. Gibbs, in turn, will become a limited partner of the HBSE. So the Harris Blitz Sports Entertainment. Joe Gibbs is going to be a partner of this. So it's kind of like a flip, a switch in a sense. I'm a partner for your thing, and you become a partner for my thing. You know, so that's pretty cool. And they all had that connection for the Washington Commanders. So I definitely am excited about that. I'm excited about the future of this team. I definitely can't wait for the bid to finally go through. Right, I can't wait for that because we've been waiting for that for I don't know how long, man. It goes back years, but in recent months, it's been months because clearly this has been the only time that it's been legit. So I love it. I can't wait to see when that happens, and I wonder if Joe Gibbs is going to be more around Washington Park now come this season. Next thing about my Washington Commanders, I'm intrigued. I can't wait for training camp because I'm intrigued to see how this offensive line pans out. I did a documentary on Braden Daniels a couple days ago. I got another one going up today on Kazmir Allen. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But I'm interested to see how this offensive line pans out. Right, left tackle Charles Leno. All right, we already know that's going to be the case. But can Braden Daniels show enough this year that he can get groomed by Charles Leno and next year be able to take over? I wonder. Because he has the skill set to be really good. Yes, he's small. He's a smaller tackle, but I feel like the NFL is transitioning. Yeah, it's great to have those big tackles, 6'5", 6'6", 300-pound tackles. But what about the smaller athletic tackle that's able to keep up with these edge rushers, that's able to be downfield in space when it's a screen or when it's a toss, outside run? What about that? You know what I'm saying? Braden Daniels is able to do that. So I think him sitting behind Charles Leno for a year could be really good, and he could potentially be our left tackle. But even if he's not, I think Washington's left tackle position should be a massive investment next season, whether it's free agency, whether we take one in the first 2 rounds of the draft. Then you got the left guard position. This is going to be the biggest camp battle for that offensive line spot. You got Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul really battling it out for that left guard position. Then you got center Ricky Stromberg. I think they want to start him at center, but I think they're willing to start Nick Gates if they have to. If he has to be there, let's say the start of the season, because Ricky Stromberg isn't really grasping the information just yet. Hasn't been the best. He's not quite ready. It's cool, right? Because we got Nick Gates, so we can put Nick Gates in there, let him play center for a little bit until my boy Ricky Stromberg is ready. But the thing is about Ricky Stromberg, he had a lot of playing time in the SEC. So I think genuinely Ricky Stromberg is going to be ready. And I think come week 1, Ricky Stromberg is going to be our starting center. I do. I think Nick Gates is the new Wes Schweitzer, where he's too valuable. Right? You don't want to start him at a position because if he gets hurt, then you lose that depth at multiple positions. I think they want to start Ricky Stromberg. And in an event he doesn't get it done or unforeseen circumstances happen, Nick Gates could go in. Nick Gates could go in. You still got Tyler Larson too, y'all. Let's not forget about Tyler Larson. Tyler Larson has been really solid for us too. He's not no starter caliber, but he's definitely a really good backup. So I'm interested to see how that center position pans out in camp. But I think I know what it is. I think they really want to start Ricky Stromberg, but is willing to start Nick Gates if they need to. Then at right guard right guard, you got my guy Sam Cosmi. Sam Cosmi was originally drafted as a right tackle, right? He's originally drafted as a right tackle, but then now they found out that he could be a better guard. And this is the first year that I'm really having super high expectations for Sam Cosmi because he's been okay his first 2 years, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. This is the year that I judge Sam Cosmi. Is he a new Brandon Sheriff or not? Because again, remember Brandon Sheriff was a tackle too, but then he got moved to guard. So is he the new Brandon Sheriff or not? Let me know. This is gonna be the year that I judge Sam Cosmi for real. He can either be a really good right guard, or we probably gonna have to be looking to replace him here shortly. Right? We still got 2 years left on the 3 year, 4 years, a second round pick, so he doesn't have that 5th year option. But the thing is, we need to find out what we have. I think Sam Cosmi can get it done. I think he can be really good. I do. The thing with him is health. That's the biggest problem. I don't think it's the talent. I think it's the health. And you hate to have to move on from players due to their health, but you got to do what you got to do. But Sam Cosmi, this is the big year for him. This is the big year for him. I think this is the year that he has to get it done. Then at right tackle, you got Andrew Wiley. Former Kansas City Chiefs, got that connection with Eric Bieniemy, Super Bowl champion. I think 2-time Super Bowl champion at that. So he's bringing in that championship leadership and mentality to this offensive line that I love and I'm excited for. So overall, I think the offensive line is going to be a really fun battle to watch in camp. I'm more so talking about that left guard position and really that center thing. But the whole overall, the offensive line is going to be really fun to keep up with this camp. So there y'all have it for that section. Not a lot of Commanders news, but definitely something to talk about. Now let's get to the final segment. It is going to be the shout out segment. Let's go ahead and get to the shout out segment, shall we? So first thing that we have up here for the shout out segment, let's scroll all the way to the top. All the way to the top for the shout out segment. We got my guy Michael Starkey. He says, "Good morning, JG or Juan Gotti." Sorry. Good morning to you, Michael Starkey. I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning, episode number 29. Michael Starkey says, "I don't know, man. They can't seem to leave that wreckage alone with SMH. I'm starting to think that there have been something on board." There may have been something on board. Yeah, man, it is a little bit fishy. As the days go on, man, we'll find more and more out about that whole submarine thing. Again, I gave my piece on it at the top of the show. I definitely feel bad for the kid that was involved in it, and everybody really. But it definitely is gonna be something that's something gonna come out sooner than later, right? Watt Holmes. Shout out to my guy, Watt Holmes. Appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Watt Holmes says, took A-Rod his whole career to get one. Yeah, it took him a very long time to get one Super Bowl ring. Should have 2 by now, 3 by now, but obviously we know the NFC. He hasn't been able to get out the NFC Championship in Green Bay. So maybe him going to the AFC, it could change things, but I think it actually makes it worse because there's so much more talent over there in the AFC department or conference, I should say. His best chances were to win it in the NFC. Honestly speaking, good comment, Watt Holmes. The Hawk TV. Appreciate you, The Hawk TV, for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, good morning. Good morning to you, The Hawk. Appreciate you. Alante, shout out to you. Shout out to my guy, Alante. Appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Alante says, you got it right. Okay. I'm gonna put that video out too about the top 10 list. I want to see what people got to say about it. I think honestly, I'm with you, Alante. I think my top 10 list is one of the best. I really do. I think so because I feel like it's not biased at all. It's legit takes, right? And it's a really good list. I do too. The Hulk TV says, I like that list, JG. Hey, okay, that's 2 people in a row. I'm saying, man, I think I put together a gym. Watt Holmes says you should have A-Rod at 3. I don't know about that, man. I can't have Aaron Rodgers over 3 versus over who though? So you saying Aaron Rodgers is over right now headed into 2023? I'm not saying that. I'm basing it off of their 2022 performance and their projection of 2023. So you're saying Aaron Rodgers is better than headed into this season is better than what I have him at 7. He's better than Herbert? No. Lamar? No. Hurts? No. Josh Allen? No. That's the spot that he would take. He would take Josh Allen's spot. If you put Aaron Rodgers at 3, where are you putting Josh Allen? Josh Allen is definitely the 3rd best quarterback. I would even say 2 because I know I love Josh Allen, bro. But I can't deny Joe Burrow. So I think 7 for Aaron Rodgers right now is the perfect spot. I don't think Aaron Rodgers at 3. I don't think so. He's not better than these guys heading into 2023. The whole TV says, I think it's perfect if you ask me. Thank you, man. Greatness for you today. I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, solid list. Appreciate it. Based off last year, JG got it right. Yeah, I'm saying. And then based off of their projection, I'm just based off of last year's performance and their projections of 2023. That's what I think. Wild Home says Lamar shouldn't be on the list, I think you meant to say shouldn't. Lamar shouldn't be on that on the list, and you should take Kirk off. Whoa, nah, man. Who's 10 then? If I take Kirk Cousins off, are you putting Derek Carr at 10? Who's 10? Geno Smith? Tua? Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback, man. I think so. He's right there he's right there between 10 and 11. Greatness to you, greatness for you today says keep grinding. Thank you, man. You already know. We gonna always keep grinding over here, baby. Chris Wells, appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, to be honest, podcasts with smaller amount of views are a lot better in my opinion. We all can talk and give inputs as sports and Commanders fans. Yeah, that is true. But, I honestly can see where you're coming from with that take. So I don't disagree with that. Small podcasts are fun, but you obviously love to see it grow and get better because you're putting in the hard work. So I agree with that take, but the goal is to obviously get bigger and better and more people to watch. So it could be more people that not that I just get to talk to, but you get to talk to in the comment section and go back and forth with in a good way. Sports talk. So Alante says, I respect your grind, young king. I appreciate that, Alante, man. We're going to keep grinding. This podcast is going to be big one day, man. I just got to get consistent and get out my own way, honestly speaking. The Hulk TV says, JG, when it's all said and done, where would you rank Sam Howell amongst all starting quarterbacks? Oh, that could be, maybe I do I do 32 next time? I think we do another position next time. I think we probably do top 10 receivers. Sam Howell, I think he is at the bottom, okay, because of him being a second-year quarterback. So he only has one NFL game under his belt. So I don't know if I could have Sam Howell pretty high. So I think Sam Howell, that's hard, because I know a lot of people have him as the 32nd quarterback in the NFL. But that means some of the rookies are higher than him, which is not right. But again, he only has one game. So I think Sam Howell, I'll say right now, I'll put the rookies at the bottom. I'll put Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young. I'll put them at 3. But no, I can't. No, hold on. Because are we counting Colt McCoy? Because he's starting the season for the Cardinals. And even though Colt McCoy even though the rookie hasn't taken a snap yet, they're better than Colt McCoy. Sam Howell is better than Colt McCoy. So, do I go Colt McCoy, 32, 31, I go Anthony Richardson. Then I go... do I go Sam Howell? Because I don't want to say Sam Howell is 30. But then I don't want to... But then I think Bryce Young, first overall pick, has to be higher than him. So I think I'll go 30 for Sam Howell, maybe 29. But yeah, I'll go 30 for Sam Howell, and then I'll put C.J. Stroud at 29, and then I'll put Bryce Young at 28, and then the list really starts. Yeah, so Sam Howell can't be that high, but I don't think he's the 32nd best worst quarterback in the NFL. So I say probably 30 or 29 for Sam Howell. That's where I have it. Christian Chris, appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Christian Chris says, LOL, I will hope he isn't groomed by Leno. We have nobody else there right now, so the only person that he would have to be groomed by would be Charles Leno. We don't have anybody else in front of him. Alante He says, got my guy to 6K. Get my guy to 6K. You won't regret it. Hashtag JGTS. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know. Shout out to my boy Alante for getting me right, man. Get with the shout out. Y'all hit that subscribe button, man. Shout out the channel. We're almost at 6K, man. We're almost there. We're grinding. We'll get there, man. I have a goal to try to get to 10K at least by the start of next year. You know what I'm saying? We going to grind all summer, though. We going up all summer long. Home says, who's Cosme backing up? Cosme is starting. Who's Cosme's back up? I think it's Cornelius Lucas. Cornelius Lucas is backing up Sam Cosme. Believe so. Yeah. Home says, I didn't hear you say Lamar, Josh Allen. I don't think he's going to have a better season than Rodgers. I'm just saying LOL, but I don't like Kirk. I didn't say Lamar. Yeah, my top 5 to be clear. We'll just do 5 so you can hear me better. 5 Lamar, 4 Hurts, 3 Allen, 2 Burrow, and 1 Patrick Mahomes. So that's my top 5 to be more clear for you, because you're saying that Rodgers should be 3. So really all you care about is that top 5, honestly. So I don't know, man. I can't say he's better than Allen, bro, right now. And you don't like Kirk? I mean, I can see that. Being a Commanders fan, some people sour on Kirk, but Kirk is a top 10 quarterback. He's, like I said, he's right there in that 12, 11, 10 range. But right now, I think he's better than that. I think he's better than Derek Carr. I think he's better than Tua. And I think he's better than Geno. Now, if Geno does it again, if he has another season like he did last year, then I can put him in 10. But right now, I can't put him at 10 because he only did it 1 year. Deems, appreciate you for listening to the Top of the Morning Show. He says, I'll put Geno over Kirk. I mean, again, for me, I'm not putting him over Kirk because he only did it 1 year. Talking Hogs Podcast. Appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, hello, Mr. Gotti. What's going on, Talking Hogs? Appreciate you for coming through. Says, how you feeling, bro? I'm feeling good. What about yourself, man? I'm feeling good. You know, the weather outside has been rainy the whole week, so that's a little, you know, a little much. Even though I'm a person that loves a chill day, a cloudy sky day, gloomy day. I love me a gloomy day, but the rain kind of been in the way. But other than that, man, I've been pretty good, man. How about yourself? Watt Holmes says, hell no, you tripping? Kirk Cousins is not better than Tua. Nah, man. Nah, you can't say that right now. You can't say that. Who has more upside? Clearly Tua. But you can't say that now, bro. Nah, bro. Tua is not better than no Kirk Cousins, bro. Nuh-uh, bro. No, Tua is not better than Kirk Cousins, bro. No. Well, he's 25 over 8 for 3,548 yards last year. Kirk Cousins was what? Let's see what Kirk Cousins was. Kirk Cousins was 4,547 yards for 29 touchdowns and 14 interceptions last year, bro. And then in 21, he was 4,221 yards for 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions last year. I get you on like Kirk, man. You know what I'm saying? We Washington fans, so a lot of Washington fans. I don't have no ill will towards Kirk Cousins at all. But I know a lot of Washington fans do. So I get that you don't like Kirk, but nah, Tua's not better than Kirk Cousins, bro. Nah, bro. When you said that it's made me jump up and start writing again, I'm not even gonna lie to a carried by Hill and Waddle, bro. Take Kirk off the list with Sam Howell and hey man, if I did that, they would literally rage. I hope my boy Sam Howell pans out, man. I really do. While Holmes says if Kirk didn't have JJ, he'd been lost his starting status. I don't know. I don't think that. I think Kirk Cousins is good, bro. Is he the best? No, but he's good, man. I'm not the biggest Kirk Cousins fan, but I don't like the disrespect we giving Kirk, man. I don't like it. We disrespecting Kirk today, man. That's kind of crazy. But Alright, y'all. That was the end of the shout out segment. I appreciate y'all for participating, man. I appreciate y'all for listening to Top of the Morning Show this morning. We're going to go ahead and call it a day. This has been episode number 29 of the Top of the Morning Show podcast. I'll be back Monday morning, fresh and early, for episode number 30. That's a big milestone. So I hope to see a lot of you guys over there and for Monday's podcast. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. See y'all Monday morning, fresh and early. It's me and boy Juan Gotti. See y'all next time. I'm out. Peace.
Top of the morning, top of the morning.